So, hey, it's Aaron. I'm here with Nathan.
Hey,
Nathan, what do you do?
I'm a photographer. My website's called Speed Photos.
Okay,
So yeah.
cool. So Nathan, you'll see some footage of what we did. We're here at the Red Line Ice Drive. We've been driving cars out in the snow, spinning them around, trying the safety systems and stuff. And Mr. Proffer here has been the photographer for all of this. So he's been taking photos, video, and everything, and you'll see that. Plus, I took a couple of candid photos of him in action. So actually doing this. A lot of them were distance because you tend to go out there.
Yeah, tend to be out there just this event with the big snow lot, just kind of finding safe spots around the edges and trying to get close but not too close and get snow kicking up and just capture as much as possible.
So when you're doing this, what sort of thing goes into like the logistics of setting up, making sure you have the right equipment?
Now it's kind of just down to second nature a little bit, but kind of for this one it's video and stills. So then it's kind of camera tripod, camera, I was using the same one and just switching back and forth on the same camera. So with the 6 cars, they're kind of, as you know, cycling through. Just kind of one pass getting video, one pass getting stills, and then kind of moving to a new location and
doing it all over again?
Yeah, doing it all over again. So.
And then the weather, I was watching you deal with the weather when it really started snowing, coming down hard, and so you started covering things and putting in, and then but the snow's still getting in there and melting and stuff. How do you deal with that sort of thing?
Luckily, the camera's pretty sealed tight, but the snow, especially like you said, is really falling and then melting, and it wasn't just kind of falling off the camera and blowing away. Just have kind of basically a big bag, like a raincoat for the camera. It's a little awkward to actually use the controls, but you can still do it. So that's why every time it stopped, I was trying to take it off and just shoot without it.
So how long have you been doing photography, not just professionally, but I want people to have an idea how long it takes to learn how to do this really well.
So I probably did my first gig when I was 16 or so. 34 now. So I'm going blank on the math right now. It's been a while. And then
so that's just shy of 20. That's about 18 years.
Yeah, and then 7 years full time. So before that, a lot of it was kind of like high school, college, and it was kind of a few events. Honestly, it started with car events that I just wanted to get into. And it was kind of the way to get access.
So the camera malfunction. Sorry. So we were talking about the timing. I also wonder, when you came to this event, you had like a little carry-on style suitcase for camera gear. And I don't know enough to make a guess, but in your estimation, just roughly, how much in equipment do you have in dollar figures just for an event like this?
15,000 or so, probably.
So what I'm trying to get to is photography isn't free, and it's not easy. And I want people to get an idea of the context of 18 years of doing it, 11 years before you were doing it professionally, and then basically the price of a small car in equipment. So, the whole, one of the arguments I run into as a freelancer, as a writer, because people literally say, well, it doesn't take that much to write 500 words. And it happens all the time with photographers is, for the exposure, right? Well, you die from exposure, right? That's not a, that's not a payment.
Thing. And a lot of with writing too, there's so much back to it and so much how you can kind of transform driving the vehicle and make it mean something to someone who hasn't. Kind of same with photography, just over time you build your skills and then it adds up. So it's not just, this takes 5 minutes, you can do this. There's really years in advance, so then you can do it in 5 minutes maybe. But
and you're a specialist. You really specialize in automotive photography. I've seen photos that you've done on racetracks and on just off-road, all these different situations where it's all about the car, but it's a different type of photography in all of those situations, because off-road you're dealing with dirt and a lot of movement that's not necessarily just lateral,
up
parallel.
and
Sometimes it's
down
vertical and stuff.
Yeah.
And then whereas on a racetrack, it's extremely high speed movement. It stays on the same plane more or less, but it's really high speed, and you have to figure out the exact moment to capture it because you're only really going to get one or two trigger pulls before that car is passed.
And especially depending on kind of the event, some of the ones that are more rally-ish, might be one or two passes in the day, and then if luckily, hopefully there's enough next day if you need it. But so you just have to plan and kind of get the safe shot to kind of make everyone happy, and then kind of if you have another chance, you can maybe be more creative or try something else. But you need to make sure you get one to turn in.
Okay. So this has been Nathan. We've been talking about photography, especially automotive photography, and I just want to give people an idea of the context of an event like this. There were only maybe 10 journalists in all, 6 vehicles, about 10 of us in all between the nationals and regionals that came to the event, and he alone was responsible for capturing the imagery of the whole thing. And this is the 3rd year doing this, and the 3rd time you've done this. And I know from last year and the year before, plus the other events, the Rocky Mountain Climb and other things that we've been to at the same time, this is a very, it's a lot of work, it's rigorous, but the stuff that he produces is top notch. And so I just want people to know who you are, and I want to talk about what it is to do photography. So appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much, and happy to be here.
Okay.
Not normally on this side. So.
We'll see you again soon.